Welcome to the Alliance of Nerds, a podcast where we talk about anything and everything nerd-related. My name is Michael, your connoisseur of all things Star Trek and Magic the Gathering related.
I'm Cameron. I am the resident Dungeon Master and Star Wars expert.
I'm Nick. I'm the Marvel Master and fan of all things superhero.
And I'm Joe. I love video games and horror movies.
So, boys, the newest Star Wars game of the Star Wars catalog of many games is coming out this November, called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. What do you all know about it?
Nothing.
It's a Star Wars game.
Okay.
And it's coming out this November.
Correct.
It's called... I already forget.
I think I saw a trailer
Jedi
for
Fallen Order.
I think I might have watched it.
Okay.
I think I saw a trailer and that was it.
Sure. So, it is the third game that has come out under EA's license. So back in 2012, when Disney acquired LucasArts and Lucasfilms and Lucas Games.
Crap, that was 2012.
Yeah, that was 2012.
That was old.
Oh my
god. Disney created a deal with EA where they got exclusivity rights to all Star Wars games from 2013 to 2023. So, 10-year window. At this point, it's been about 6 years into the lifespan, and we've got 3 games. Star Wars Battlefront, 2015, not the original one, obviously, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2017, with Fallen Order being the third game.
So, me and Mike have both played Battlefront 1.
Right.
Mike's played Battlefront 2.
Okay.
I've played Battlefront 2.
Okay.
I liked Battlefront 1, but it lacked customization for me.
Sure,
like, there wasn't
sure.
enough variation in the weapons. Did Battlefront 2 get better?
Well, the beginning of Battlefront 2 had a major scandal with the microtransactions.
With the microtransactions.
Yeah.
I know that, but as a game,
there were major changes to Battlefront 2, and Battlefront 2 did get a lot better as a game.
Yeah, they're still adding stuff. They just recently added Felucia, I think, as a planet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Felucia's a good planet.
With, who did they... I'm not totally up to date on it.
Did they add the blue lady with the tentacle head?
Ayla Sakura?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Maybe, but I think the two newest heroes would be Anakin in like his Clone Wars, so prequel era Anakin, and can't remember the villain. I know they added Grievous, but I don't know if that's
good. I love Grievous.
But that's been added, and then obviously in 2019, which is this year, we'll be getting Jedi Fallen Order, which is sort of you've played Force Unleashed, right?
Yeah.
So very, very similar to that in that regard, where it's a third person, you're controlling a Jedi.
Is it a Jedi?
Yes.
Okay.
It's post Episode 3, and it's a dude trying to hide from the Empire.
From Order 6.
Yeah, right. So, right, which is exciting. It's cool. Yeah. But that's it. That's all we've gotten for 6 years. Which is kind of, there's been a slew of mobile games, sure, but that's not really interesting. So for 6 years, we've gotten 3 games.
So,
which is, I'm going to start talking about it, ridiculous. So I just picked a separate 6-year period in Star Wars history. 1999 to 2005. Anybody tell me why that's significant?
Battlefront 2?
No. Yes.
I don't know. When was Battlefront 2? The original Battlefront 2?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
99 to 2005. 99 is when Episode 1 was released. 02 was Attack of the Clones, and then 05 would have been Revenge of the Sith. So I've chosen this period because it's when the last 3 movies came out. Obviously, from 2013 to 2019, Force Awakens came out in 15, so there's that 2-year gap where nothing was really made. But still, we've had, at this point, it'll be 5 Star Wars movies between...
Yes, Solo, Rogue One...
And then the 3
3
trilogy between 15 and 19. So between 1999 and 2005, not counting handheld or mobile games... We're talking 25 games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of solid GameCube
Yeah,
games.
there were, and like I've got the list here. I mean, there are some stinkers in it, but a majority of them were really fucking good. Like, so from '99, we have the Phantom Menace game, which is you just play through the movie essentially. You have Episode 1 Racer, which is the pod racer game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was super popular.
Just a racing game with Star Wars.
Right, exactly. You have X-Wing Alliance, which is sort of a Rogue Squadron type game.
I think I've seen that before.
And then 2000, you have Jedi Power Battles, which I've never heard of before this, which is like a weird beat 'em up game type thing.
Was Bounty Hunter in that time period?
Yep,
Because
yep,
I've
yep,
played
yep,
Bounty
yep,
Hunter.
yep.
Bounty Hunter's a good game.
We have Battle for Naboo, which is just like you control the Naboo starfighter and like a bunch of missions fighting off droids in space or whatever. You have Force Commander, which was an RTS, and then Demolition, which is like a vehicle combat game. So a lot of those pretty unknowns, honestly.
Just games.
But still, games that were released. 2001, we have Obi-Wan, like Star Wars Obi-Wan, which is you followed Obi-Wan before Episode 1. You have...
With Qui-Gon?
With Qui-Gon, yep. You have Rogue Squadron 2, so the second of... Rogue Squadron came in 98, so doesn't really count, but Rogue Squadron 2. You have Super Bombad Racing, which was...
Yes, that's
Yes.
the one where they got big heads.
Big heads, yep. Yep.
I have that.
We have... Where are we? Galactic Battlegrounds, which is another RTS. We have Star Wars Starfighter, which is like you... sort of like X-Wing, where it's essentially it's a bunch of missions where you get in a ship and you have an objective to do or whatever. It's essentially just a
Fair enough.
shoot 'em
It's
up.
a space game.
Yeah,
where
it's
you
a space
fly
game.
Star Fox.
2002, we have the Clone Wars, which is essentially the Attack of the Clones game, but it's called the Clone Wars for some reason, and no relation to the TV show called
it wasn't
the Clone
out
Wars.
yet.
Right, and neither was Clone Wars, which is the earlier TV show, which I think started in 2003 or 4. But anyway, it's the movie game essentially. Then you have Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, which is
Yep, I know those two.
yep.
Those are good
Well,
games.
Jedi Knight : Jedi Outcast.
Isn't there one called Jedi Outcast as well?
Yes, it was like Dark Forces 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's earlier. You have that, and then you have what is that? Racer Revenge, again, another racing game.
It's really easy to make racing games.
Yeah. You have Jedi Starfighter, which again is similar to the Starfighter game, where you're just controlling a starfighter.
Space combat.
Yep. Then you have Bounty Hunter, which you control Jango Fett, and you go through.
And it's like a...
Yeah, I played
It's
it.
like a... Yeah, you've played it.
My PlayStation 4 came with 4 like PlayStation 1 games.
Oh, okay.
Besides the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I had Bounty Hunter on PS2.
So
Yeah, I think it was
Mom.
that era of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you have Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, which is like Outcast, but it's essentially part of the same series, where you, instead of in Outcast, you play a character called Kyle Katarn. In Academy, you play like a new Jedi, sort
Turn
of.
call.
No.
Oh.
Then you have Rogue Squadron 3, and then you have Knights of the Old Republic, which is easily probably one of the best Star Wars games of all time, the RPG, which everyone's been claiming.
MMORPG, right?
No, that's
2.
No.
No.
You're thinking of Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is
I've played that one.
right. That's a bit different. Then 2004, we have the original Battlefront. 2005, we have the Revenge of the Sith game. And then you have Knights of the Old Republic 2, which again, RPG. Then you have Battlefront 2. And then you have Republic Commando, which is you're like a commando for the Republic, and you... it's like... It had... Yeah. I mean, yeah. But you're a clone commando.
Yeah.
And you have this squad with you.
Yep.
And it's like pretty good AI.
Battlefront 2 is still one of the most popular shooters
exactly.
that has existed.
Just from those games, not most of them, but a decent amount of them are still like talked about.
Yeah.
When we're talking about Star Wars video games, and we've had 3. in that same time of all those that I just listed off. Two arguably not great games.
Just made by EA though.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Not.
This is all LucasArts under the umbrella of Lucas Games that they contract different companies out
And
to.
they just make
Right,
games.
exactly. Which I don't know why they're not doing. EA, to be fair, EA has a lot of fucking studios.
Yeah.
They're
Could easily be.
exactly.
Could
They're
be
a
making more
giant
games.
company. In fact, they had Visceral Games working on a Star Wars game, but then they closed down and then they stopped making that game.
EA is also busy with a lot of other games,
Sure,
though.
which is
to be
fair. But Star Wars games just make fucking money.
Yeah, they sell well
They do incredibly well.
Yeah, that's true.
because they got Star Wars in the name.
Exactly. Like, even if they're just making, like, similar to these, I said a movie game for each game. Why haven't they just made a movie game for Force Awakens? Movie game for
Because
Last Jedi?
today's consumers don't really want that.
I would play that.
I feel like if you add anything into there that would like be considered canon or anything, if they can do that, like now anyone who's like a true like Star Wars fan needs everything like now has to play that in order to like see or at least research it or something.
That's fair, but a lot of people nowadays, because the movies are better, a movie and a game would kind of look the same. So I feel
you
like
mean visually?
visually.
Okay.
So I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really care too much for the game because if they've seen the movie, then obviously same as like an old one.
I mean,
If you've seen the movie, you know the story.
have you played like the Revenge of the Sith game at all?
I haven't played any.
They're not. I mean, they sort of follow the story, but they're super different than they.
They are?
Yeah. So like, and the Revenge of the Sith game, which is no, I played the Clone Wars one too. The Revenge of the Sith, you're Obi-Wan and Anakin, and you sort of go through, and it's sort of like a.
Is it like on Grievous's ship or something?
Like there's a mission where you're on like Grievous's ship. There, you go through like the Jedi Temple at one point. You go on.
Okay, so you follow the events of the story, but you
Right.
go through all the things that get cut out of the
Yeah, essentially, and there's like you fight clones a lot.
See, I feel
you
like
fight
there's not a
other
lot
Jedi.
that was cut out of the new movies to go through, though.
I mean, there's a lot that you can just make up, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
because,
you can just make up a lot of.
So games are hard where in the new canon, where as far as I understand, the Battlefront 2 campaign is canon.
It is
Yeah,
interesting,
right. But that's the only game. Like first Battlefront had no campaign, so there was nothing to be canon in that. And then Fallen Order again
Is a spin-off.
spin-off, but I think as far as I understand, everything that's made past 2014 is a part of the new canon.
Was Force Unleashed canon? I don't
No,
think it wasn't.
I
right?
mean, so I don't want to get into the old canon stuff, but it was super complex, where there were like 6 levels of canon.
Okay.
So Force
Right,
Unleashed
yeah.
was like on the
Levels?
third, yeah.
Yeah, with books and
So
various other things.
So G level is anything George Lucas made,
Okay.
which is it trumps all. It's law, and nothing can be changed. Was C level after that? See, it's hard to
Because they're not in alphabetical.
right. Is C level or
We don't need to go through
Yeah,
specifics.
exactly.
So, movies, and then under that, there's books and
like
games and other
like
things.
TV shows, and then there's like secondary stuff that might be canon if it doesn't contradict, but in the future, if it's contradicted, it doesn't really count. It was super confusing, and honestly, it's just way better that they killed all that stuff. I mean, it's unfortunate that the stories can't be really continued because
Because they're not canon
they're not canon, but we can also take old stuff and bring it into the new canon, which they've done decent. I mean, not a decent amount, but a little bit.
But they've done some of it.
But my whole point is, fucking make more Star Wars games. I'm gonna play them, right? I'm not like I bought both Battlefronts, even with the microtransaction bullshit, because I had fun in the beta. So
See, I bought Battlefront 1 because I loved Battlefront 2
Right,
and
exactly.
the original Battlefront 1. didn't like it as much as I wanted to. So when Battlefront 2 came out, I was like, I'll pass. I'll stick with old Battlefront 2
Right,
because I
which is
love
fair.
that game.
But there's just so much they can do with canceled projects in the past that
That they could revive.
Like there was this big project sort of near the end of LucasArts called Star Wars 1313, which was going to follow a bounty hunter on the 1313th level of Coruscant. But that got canned because the Disney acquisition sort of like stopped all production on things, so it just sort of got lost in the acquisition.
Back to the movie like games you're talking about. I think like even if you almost like follow the movie exactly, which would make it seem like irrelevant to play the game, it's cool to be able to like explore things that you've seen in the movie, and now you get to see them in detail in the game and like visit random things up close and look at them as long as you want. Like if you take Rogue One, like the base that they're attacking, like,
Yeah, sure.
it's a pretty cool location.
I feel like Rogue One has a lot of things that you could go through, but like The Force Awakens, there's not a lot of dead space.
I mean, even just like the Force Awakens.
You got like what?
What, planets?
I gotta remember what happens in The Force Awakens.
Okay.
First.
The Planet Killer Base.
Starkiller Base.
Starkiller Base, but like you see everything that happens on Starkiller Base because it's just the one.
Planet.
Let it
No,
happen.
that's a different thing.
It
What?
kills planets, so.
It's
mean,
called
it's fair.
Starkiller though.
Starkiller Base.
Stars.
No,
does
it
not.
takes the energy from a star.
And then
that's
kills
the
planets
Sun
with it.
Sun Crusher, right? Yes. We can get in. There's a whole different topic of
Names.
The Star Wars old universe just used to be. There's a super weapon. Go destroy it. That was a lot of the stuff. There was a whole Yuzong Vong stuff where they would take a planet and then terraform it essentially to their. It's a whole shit to get into.
It's a shit.
It's a shit. Like, it's just unfortunate to
that they're not taking advantage of the license.
of this giant license that
They've got a lot of property and they're just like planting like
Right.
weeds in it.
and we've still got 4 more years of this until the contract is up, and I assume
There will be a lot of
They're-
games
they're-
from things that have happened.
they're gonna go to a different company for this, because I mean, even if Fallen Order is great, which I'd be happy about, then there's still, that's just 3 games, three decently fun arcade shooters,
To be
or 2 arcade shooters, and then one
story-driven.
story-driven game, and that's it.
To be fair, the new Battlefronts have a lot more work in them.
Sure. I will say, it takes a lot more effort for modern games, and there's a lot.
They're not cranking out shit tier
right.
graphics
Exactly.
with good
But
gameplay.
but still,
like,
a game every 2 years. That's not for a giant company.
for EA,
For
is
EA,
understandable. Yeah,
that's pretty disappointing to me.
yeah, I agree. So what could brainstorm? What kind of game would you like to see?
I want an open world.
You want open world?
Yeah, well,
Doing
not
what?
one
Galaxy.
world, but yeah, open galaxy. Like,
You want No Man's Sky Star Wars version?
Pretty much.
That would be sweet.
yeah,
that would be-
like travel around to the different planets.
That'd be
check
pretty
it out.
sweet.
Not necessarily be a Jedi, but like
It's like some. I don't know, just
it
a
doesn't need to
traitor.
be like a lot of fighting. It could just be a nice, peaceful Minecraft-esque game.
I mean, it's Star Wars. There's gonna be someone trying to kill you.
I feel like
Well, yeah, of course.
there should be like kind of like an Eve almost, where there's like factions, but it,
Oh,
it'd
yeah,
be
like an
whatever
Eve
time
Online,
period
but
it
with
takes
Star
up.
Wars.
And you could be a miner if you want. You could be a moisture farmer.
Yeah,
or whatever. You could-
moisture farmer.
you can try to be a Jedi or a clone or something. I don't know, depending on when it takes.
You can
place.
make a clone army or like.
Well, you probably
You can
I don't know
make
if
a
you-
clone.
You can go to Camino and hire them.
maybe.
Or Sparta 4.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably be in command of a ship and hire clones for your ship or whatever.
You could hire bounty hunters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go take out other players.
Be a bounty hunter.
Yeah, sure. You
That'd
just
be amazing.
described Star Wars Galaxies, which was a old MMO.
Well, they need to remake that.
Yep. I mean, sort of. It was sort of like
See, I would like, Conquest in Battlefront 2?
that. Yep.
Favorite part of Battlefront 2.
Sure.
I want a whole game that is that, but with more detail, more things, more planets, bigger map. With some replayability, obviously. You can choose a smaller map if you want, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Did they not add that in the...
Can pick more factions. I don't know. I didn't play
I feel like
Battlefront 2.
they...
Did they add Conquest in
I
Battlefront
think
2?
so. Like,
I have not played it. If there is, I played recently. I didn't notice that being a thing.
I've...
You know what I'm talking about,
Like,
right?
yeah,
Where you
the
can-
capture
with
the point
ships, and then with the ship in space, and then it's like you're going around a planet. You can pick the next planet to move to, or you have credits to construct another ship.
Conquest.
That's
is
what
a
you're
game
talking-
in
Not the game
Battlefront 2, but not what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the game mode. What am
You're
I
talking...
Galactic
Conquest?
Conquest, yeah.
Galactic.
I think
It is
that
Conquest, right? Galactic
think so.
Conquest.
I think you're right. Hold on. I'll look
And
it
you
up.
could pick
Rip.
to be either you
was-
could pick the era. It was CIS or clones, or you
Or-
could pick to be rebels or
Empire. Yep.
So I want that. But
And there were like different scenarios of where the galaxy you control.
and then you could go to different planets.
Yep, yeah.
And I want one of those where it's like a whole galaxy, and you can pick a time period, or you can mix time periods where you have like the First Order against CIS if you want to,
Sure.
or just all kinds of cool stuff like that. I want new droids. I want new guns. I want like customization.
Yeah, Galactic Conquest. That's what it was
Yeah.
called.
Some kind of customization, because that's the thing that I really was disappointed in with Battlefront 1 is you got like 5 things you can be. That's it.
Right. They added like new clone armors or something like that.
I don't
And
want
a couple-
cosmetic
Oh,
things.
okay,
I
okay.
want like... You know how in Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2,
Yep.
you have 4 factions you can choose from.
Sure.
Each of those factions has like the same things,
Type of class, and they...
but they're
yeah.
different slightly. Like the engineer and the assault rifle guy and the whatever one other, those are all the rocket launcher and the sniper.
Yep.
Those are all common. But then you have
then you have
you have manga guards and droidicas
Yeah.
and jump troopers, and
Yeah, they've done that in Battlefront 2.
they have.
Yeah, there's less than it. Well, there's more like
It's like
heroes.
I don't care about the heroes though.
Well,
Like
those-
obviously those are an important part, but I want more like basic classes.
Yeah, they have like you can be like there's 2 different kinds of super battle droids. There's droidicas. There's no magna guards, but like and it works similarly to the original game where it's like
you have to build up
you
points.
can only start as
Yeah.
like the basic ones like the
Mhm.
engineer, the assault, whatever, and then if you kill a certain amount of people, get a certain amount of points from capturing or killing or whatever, then you can unlock
Then you can
those.
unlock.
And it starts off
You
with the
should-
basic ones, and then it goes to heroes, and then
You should just play Battlefront 2 and like the new one and see if it's...
And then see.
Or just look up recent gameplay or something like
That's
that.
fair. But
But
what
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about
more
specifically
than,
the Galactic Conquest part, where you have to start from scratch and build what your empire is.
Right.
And Galactic Conquest, you conquer the galaxy in the end, and then it's got infinite replayability pretty much.
Right.
That's all I ever did when I played Battlefront 2. Not all, but that kind of thing. Did they add hunt yet
There was a hunt mode, yeah. Where
In
I
two?
don't know if it was
in the new 2?
yeah. It was Ewoks versus stormtroopers on Endor.
Yep.
That shit was
yeah, that's
scary.
Yeah, it was horrifying because it was nighttime and the Ewoks
Bro,
would
the
just
Ewoks fucking come out of nowhere. It's a fucking horde.
oh yeah, yeah, it was horrible.
Bro, honest to God, I think I had nightmares the first night I went to sleep after playing that game.
That's great. The Wampas in
the
first one,
one, yeah.
those gave me nightmares. Like they'd come fucking flying over the
Yeah, they
hill and
jump
just
so
one punch
high.
you.
Oh my god, yeah.
Scary as shit, even when they're just AI.
But
So fun to play as though.
for the
Oh
what?
yeah, they were real
play
fun
as
to
the
play
Wampas.
as.
Oh and then there was that like Tusken Raider.
I
versus
like the
Jawa
Tusken
one.
Jawan one because you just pick the Tuskens because the Jawas have it so much easier, and then it's actually a challenge.
Is there another one? There was there a Gungan one? Gungan versus droids?
Those yes, I think, but it wasn't Hunt. Maybe
I don't remember that.
I think you could pick a Gungan, like with a gun,
Maybe.
but I don't think it was a game mode.
I remember in the first Battlefront, in like the campaign mode or something, there were Gungans in it for some reason.
There was a hunt on Felucia, right, as well?
I don't think so. I don't know what that would be. Because on Felucia, there's the Acklays, which are the weird things.
That's what I'm thinking about.
I don't think
I'm pretty sure. Were they just like running around in the map sometimes?
And in the campaign, there's like this mission where you start on Felucia and they're like swarming you.
Yeah,
that's
I think that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they could do that
Right.
and add wherever the Reek are from, they could make a hunt for that.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know, planets or
Yeah.
that other thing that attacks
Nexu.
Padme.
Yeah,
the
the
Nexu. They got like a lot of things to work with that they just haven't yet.
Yep.
And I feel like
I mean, there could just be another.
if they take that ball and just keep expanding it, it could be a really big, important game.
They're
Not important,
right.
but like a really big, fun game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they can just do more of this. Like, they can continue old series, you know?
Yeah.
Or just reboot it because it's not in the new canon, so it'd be kind of wonky and weird.
Mm-hmm.
In that regard. But I'm always up for new ideas.
Yeah. I still think they should just remake the old Battlefront 2. Just patch the graphics, keep all the gameplay.
Sure.
And just release it as...
That would be incredibly confusing for consumers, though,
They
right?
call it Legacy. Like Legacy Battlefront 2. Or something like that.
I have no idea how they would do it.
I don't know how they'd market it, but people would buy it.
Yeah, people would 100% buy it. But yeah, I'd love to see more like if they just did a Star Wars RPG now. Like Fallen Order is sort of like that.
Like
but if
they did Bounty Hunter again. But like
no, more like if they did The Witcher, but if you were a Jedi.
Star Wars. Okay.
Right.
Maybe not even a Jedi.
Sure, even if you're
just like
a dude.
A
person
youngling.
and
A youngling?
a youngling.
You have to fight off Anakin as it comes to
They killed
slaughter.
all of the younglings. There are no more.
Yeah.
Or do you have to
Except for the one
fight
that
off
fought
Kylo
Anakin.
Ren?
Oh.
Alternate time.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No, you have to fight off Rey when she kills all the new younglings.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But yeah, that's my gripe with the current state of Star Wars games.
Understandable.
When was the last time we got a Lego Star Wars movie?
Star Wars
Lego Star Wars movie?
Game.
Pretty
come
recently,
on.
right?
Relatively recent. I didn't count that because technically, Traveler's Tales, who are the Lego people, they've had those licenses. They still have them, so they made a Lego game for Episode 7, where it follows that and like some Episode 6 stuff and some random missions thrown in.
Oh yeah, see, I feel like that is your story game.
Right, but it's Lego, so
But it is Lego.
It's a bit different.
But still.
What are you
Because
trying to say about Lego games?
no, I love Lego games. Lego games are awesome,
They are.
and they're also easy achievement points. So that's why I play them all the time because they're super easy for that. But they are also entertaining because they always throw like super weird twists into how they make the stuff more kid friendly and like
The
they
Lego
always
games
add more
always
comedy.
seem to skip out in each movie my favorite scene from the movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, like episode 1, you don't get to participate in the war between the droids.
When all the tanks are coming over the hill and the
Yeah.
Gungans are in the big
Oh,
force field.
yeah.
That's my favorite scene in Phantom Menace.
Episode 2, fighting the frickin' monsters in the arena.
You get to be in the arena with Jango Fett.
Yeah.
There's a cutscene of the arena.
No, you do fight in the arena. There's
I think, but it's after.
you do
but,
fight him.
but it's after the
You do
monsters
fight him,
are
and
gone.
then they cut off his head.
And then they cut off Jango Fett's head.
That's really dark. I mean,
Super dark.
It's-
In the
it's like-
film, you can see the shadow of the head and helmet separating. That's why, like, when Jango or Boba goes to pick up the helmet, it's like the head's not gonna fall out or anything like that. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about episode 2. There you go.
I like episode 2.
It's a film.
good to know.
It's got a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of really dead parts, but when it actually gets to the Clone Warsing, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Lego Star Wars completely skips all the sand.
Yeah, I know, ridiculous.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
sand
come on, man.
gets everywhere.
It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But what about 3?
Well,
Episode
what'd they
3.
skip out on 3?
That's a good question.
They added in a scene with Grievous where you're in that, like, arena thing and he's, like, jumping around on the
Oh,
outside.
yeah, that's a super weird boss
That's
fight.
a weird boss fight.
That was a weird boss fight. Yeah, as Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That was a really weird. Oh, you don't get to kill the younglings.
That's your favorite part.
You don't get to kill the younglings in the Lego game. Come on. Get with the program.
Although at least they do reference it. The little hologram.
Oh, the hologram thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's your gripe.
that's my gripe.
Well,
With at least the first Lego Star Wars.
maybe it'll be there in the remastered version, which they're
What, killing
Releasing.
younglings?
yeah. Maybe they'll put that in.
I can't remember. Do you play as Grievous after you kill him? Is that a
Yeah,
thing
you could-
do?
I mean, yeah, as a character. you
Yeah,
can
as a
purchase.
Lego.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Or purchase or
I mean, you can play the most important character, Gonk Droid.
Oh yeah, and the
Yep,
PK droid.
Yep. Oh my god.
Is that the
yeah.
garbage can
Yep.
droid?
I
Yeah.
remember that.
And the PK droid's the little one that
Yeah,
can't
the
do
little
anything
mouse
at all.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Gonk Droid is far superior.
It is. But the PK droid's walk cycle's really
Yeah.
funny.
Uh,
I definitely play as the mouse droid sometimes. Just driving around.
Oh,
the
yeah,
cantina
sure.
Thing they got.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I spent so much time just like running around that like bar. You know,
Oh yeah, and just
not
like
even
breaking
playing
all the
game.
trash cans
Yeah.
and getting
Okay.
whatever you studs.
yeah, studs. And you would just fight all the random people in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, go outside where all the ships are building after you finish
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah.
And just kill things on there. Yeah, that's what I did in Force Unleashed. I played the main game for a while, and then I was like, I don't really enjoy this that much. So what I did with Force Unleashed was, whenever I felt like playing it, I would just play the opening scene with Darth Vader.
Oh, with
where
Vader, you
where
murder
you're
the
murdering
Wookiees?
the Wookiees.
Yeah.
Because that is the best part of that whole game.
Uh-huh.
You just have like all the end game powers right at the start, and you're just Darth Vader, and you never get to do that again, as far as I know. Anyway, I haven't finished it, so.
Oh, well, that's why. Bring down a Star Destroyer, or no, that's like the second game.
But do you get to be Darth Vader again?
No, because you're...
No, no, because you're that guy.
Yeah.
And it's just cool because you're Darth Vader in the
okay.
beginning.
Yeah, sure.
That's the best part.
Sure. It's like Rogue One.
Yeah.
Or all the comics.
You get to see his big black cape and his Darth helmet, and you go, oh
Yep.
boy.
Well, you haven't read any of the recent comics, have you?
I haven't read any of the comics.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm not that big a Star Wars
Yeah,
fan.
I know.
I like Star Wars, but
All right, we need to just take a moment to.
Okay.
I just looked over
Well,
next to me is
I'm on Google Maps
confusion,
right now, and
are you
I
watching porn
looked
over
at
there?
it.
and I look up Felucia,
yeah.
and there's no known ways to get to Felucia on Google Maps.
Weird.
It's funny how that works.
It's almost like it's a planet in a
In Star
galaxy
Wars.
far, far away.
We don't even know if it still exists. It was a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Is that what you've been doing?
It was just what I've
Great,
Okay.
great
Okay.
use of
All right.
time.
All right. I like it.
Sure.
I'm with it.
Want a quiz game?
Oh, yeah, are we that far in?
We are.
Okay. Yeah. So, this is Geek Out, where it's a trivia betting game, but in this case, I'm just gonna list off one of the things on the cards, and we're all gonna try and name things of that topic. This one,
Feel free to make your own list at home and keep up with us as we go.
yes, exactly. Leave anything in the comments that we obviously missed, which I'm sure we will. This one, you three are gonna have a much better advantage than me, but I will do my best to contribute. 4 Magic the Gathering creatures.
Oh boy.
I'll start with Minotaur.
Oh, we're gonna do the circle thing.
We can.
Let's do it, because I don't want to just sit here and try to
Okay.
come up with a billion of them. or
Sure.
something.
We doing creature types or are we doing
That's what I.
Yeah,
my
yeah,
specific
yeah,
creatures?
creatures.
All right, Geist.
Pegasus,
Scarecrow.
Zombie.
The Djinn.
Kithkin. This is actually like kind of hard, even though I know like a million of them. I
Yeah,
just, like, can't,
exactly.
like,
Spirit.
Goblin.
Human.
Goblin. No, you just said goblin.
I said goblin.
Like,
Said
literally 2
goblin.
seconds ago.
Say orc, dude.
Like loses.
Changeling.
I was just about to say that.
Got them all. I win.
Oh,
Drake.
dude.
Squirrel.
Dragon.
Every time I think of something, someone else says it right before me. Sphinx.
Bird.
Vampire.
Artifact creature. Such as memory.
Construct.
Pixie.
Did you say fairy already?
Is that one?
Yeah.
Gotta be one.
It's just making stuff up. Is there pixies? I know there's fairies.
There's definitely fairies.
Okay, I'm probably thinking of fairies.
Well, I mean,
What you thinking of here? You think
is that right?
There's a pixie queen. This thing's gotta be a pixie. Summon
Guarantee-
fairy.
guarantee it's a fairy.
Summon
Sounds
pixie
like
queen.
fair.
Let's go.
Wow, no, you gotta look at Gatherer. It's probably changed by now.
Yeah, you gotta check the
That's
updated
What, like
text.
a ratted or something like that?
Okay, let's keep going while Nick finds.
Okay.
Yep.
Finds out if he's a
fuck,
liar or
I
not.
had one and then it
Fairy.
disappeared.
Liar.
Where'd it go? Hydra.
Sliver.
Mirror.
Druid.
Jeez, that was super fast.
That was very
We're
fast.
zooming around, do you, buddy?
No, I can't.
Didn't
My
get
brain's
demon
shut
yet.
down.
Just name an animal.
Was
like-
it a wolf?
yeah. I was about to say lizard.
Devil.
Next one. Yeah.
Imp.
Demon.
I already said demon.
Okay.
I just said demon.
Did you say angel?
No, I did not.
Oh wow, angel is it?
Yeah, we skipped angels.
Wizard.
Eldrazi.
Yep.
Warlock.
Warlock. Is there warlocks?
I think there's warlocks. I also thought there was pixies though. So.
Tree folk.
Moonfolk, baby.
Yeah.
Is there other folk?
Nick's got himself a Moonfolk commander deck.
There's a lot of folk.
We got Hellions.
Core.
Oh yeah, core. You can say Leonin or cats. Those are the same thing. Well, technically Leonin are the humanoid ones, and then cats are like actually just cats.
Warrior.
Oh yeah. Naga, that's what they're called. I was gonna say Snake Man. It's a Naga.
called
Soldier.
Sponge.
Sponge?
Just a sponge. Elemental.
Fungus.
Fungus.
Spore. Right.
Rat.
What's that?
Yeah, there's spores.
Is there spore? Funguses get spore counters.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Sporoloth Ancient.
No, spore.
Hound.
Hound.
Bear.
We said elemental already, right?
Yeah.
Griffin.
Werewolf. Werebear is the card.
Insect.
Insect, yeah.
Yeah, there are
Spider?
insects.
Is Dragonlair spider an insect or is it a spider?
It's probably a spider.
I think it's a spider, right?
There's a lot of spiders.
I mean,
Yeah,
there
there is
Spiders
a lot of
listed.
spiders.
Definitely spiders.
Ishkanograph one.
I just had one in my head, and now it's gone.
Do we say dinosaur already?
don't
No.
think so.
Don't think so.
Dinosaur's pretty new.
What, with like Ixalan and stuff like that?
Such as.
Yeah, relatively new.
Gorgon? Didn't say Gorgon yet.
Or a good one.
Loxodon?
It's a
Isn't that
creature
type of
type.
dinosaur?
Yeah.
No.
Barbarian? Is that a creature type?
Yep.
Well, Cam's got it.
I mean, I just have the list up.
Okay.
242, so we don't have to get through all of them, you know?
We might if we really try.
I
but-
know we know.
No.
I guarantee you this.
There's definitely some like obscure ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's ones that are
Cobalt.
like...
Yeah, there's.
I'm sure there's ones that were like printed on one fucking card way back when.
Yeah.
Never used again.
Monkey is
Yeah.
Hooting Mandrill is a monkey, right?
Yeah, probably.
That set that came out like super long ago that was based on the Middle East. What were the
Arabian
creatures?
Nights?
Oh, Arabian Nights.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're like sand.
Oh, they had
soldiers
camels?
or whatever.
Yep, camels here.
Yeah.
One's... I just
We
have
haven't said horse.
sand. As,
Yeah,
as a
maybe
type.
that's-
Yeah.
There's a creature type sand.
Yep.
That's
Alright.
nice. I like that. We haven't said horses yet, right?
No,
Horses-
Pegasus is my first one.
Horses have banding. We didn't say unicorn either. Opaline unicorn.
Hippogriff.
Manticore.
Yeah, that's cool. Is Feldegriff a hippogriff?
I think it is.
Because it's not in the picture.
It's like a hippo.
It's literally a hippo.
It's a hippogriff.
Act as a witch and like the.
I think
Barbary
Feldegriff's creature
witch
type.
or whatever.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think Feldegriff's creature type is Feldegriff.
Newt.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you think
Yeah,
of a
there's
festering
newts.
newt.
No witch.
It's really not.
Nope.
She must be a human.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's like a card.
There's a wombat though.
It's a wombat.
Yep.
Interesting.
What you got?
That's a great
Oh
picture.
my god. That's an early set.
Interesting.
That is definitely an early set.
A giant cockroach, I think, is an insect, right? Or is it?
no idea.
It might have its own creature type.
There's a goif,
Oh yeah, Lurgoyf,
lurgoif. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Tarmogoyf,
Tarmogoyf,
and Mortivore.
I think there's a few of them.
Yeah. Oh, Nephilim.
Mm-hmm.
No idea how many we're at, but it's a lot.
Clone
Clone is
or shapeshifter.
shapeshifter.
Sorry, shapeshifter.
You said that earlier, Mike. Shapeshifter.
I said change.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say change.
Completely different
Yeah, okay,
thing.
are you kidding?
Absolutely
Oh.
different,
They're very different.
but they are very different.
Sliver.
I said,
He says
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
assembly worker. Got just
Oh,
yeah.
leave out assembly worker.
Thopter is a Thopter is a construct, or is it its own?
Yeah, I think it's.
I think
no,
they're
'cause
all
it's stop-
No, it's its own thing.
Yeah, I think it's something.
What?
Servo.
Yep. Servo. What archetypes are we missing? Did we do elf? I'm pretty sure we did elves. right?
Boar. Do we say boar?
Boar.
I mean, it's here.
There's one. But
There is boar. Turn to swine. Makes boars. I'm pretty sure.
I was thinking archetype of endurance.
Oh yeah,
It's a boar.
it is a boar.
When you said archetype. Cavalier.
Oh, Merfolk.
oh yeah, that's a big one.
We missed Merfolk.
It's a huge one.
Coward.
Yeah. Is that Squee?
Cattle.
Nice.
Is that one? Or cow?
I just fuck. Siege
I don't know
Rhino.
if there's cows. I can't think of a cow.
Yeah, ox. Pillarfield ox.
And it's yoked ox.
Yoked ox.
It's not a cow though.
But it is not a cow. You're right.
No, it doesn't say cow.
They need to add cows
No
right
cow.
now.
They need
Is
cows.
it? Is it be? Would that count as beast? Perhaps.
Mayhaps.
Forgot about beast.
Oh, ox is its own creature type, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is Siege Rhino a rhino?
Yeah.
I know there's rhino.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there is also just rhinos. Elephants. There's
Yep.
elephants.
Yep.
Okay, we can just
There's
keep doing this for
there's
a long time.
lot,
So
yeah. Like I said, 242. So
we gonna spin off into a magic topic here.
I don't. Are there?
You guys
any...
got anything
Have
you
a
want to
magic
spit some
topic
game
this
about?
time.
Magic: The Gathering is a card game developed by Wizards of the Coast.
How about that Russo brother directed Netflix show? Animated Magic the Gathering.
They got magic?
That's there you go.
Are they really? Oh,
Yeah.
You ever heard about that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so the Russo brothers are directing a Netflix animated Magic the Gathering show, which is animated by a collaboration of some Rick and Morty animators, I think some Avatar The Last Airbender animators, and some other top tier shows.
Nice.
I will most certainly watch it. I can very easily see this just being awful.
I can very easily see it just being the 5 guild pact planeswalkers,
Yeah.
and it's just them just doing goony stuff.
So it is based on Planeswalkers, is what they said it was going
Yeah, I
to
don't
be.
know
It's
if
gonna be
it's
focused
hard to
around-
do something else.
Yeah.
You've
Well,
got the
I don't agree with that. I, think,
I don't know.
I think
The-
you could definitely focus on some of the storylines.
the story since like M10 or the first core set has just been Liliana, Jace, Gideon, Chandra, and the green one likes to change.
So the only
Garuk for a while,
I like
and then
Rook, Nissa, and
I think one thing would be cool is like you have your
Yeah,
normal.
and
Instead of
again,
V.
I guess Gideon changed to a Johnny as well, right?
Yeah, the original 5 are like no longer that relevant. Besides Jace, Gideon came back. They're just throwing them all in there now.
I mean, Chandra's stayed pretty
That's
constant,
true.
Chandra just had 3 of her own cards in the last.
and Liliana's pretty constant too.
Yeah.
I think Chandra is definitely going to be one of the main characters, if not the number one protagonist of the show. The only teaser they've released for the show is the photo for it, which has the Magic the Gathering logo on it, and then it has a picture of Chandra. A
Okay.
silhouette of Chandra.
I think it'd be cool to have one show, like if you had two shows. One show was like the regular like Planeswalkers main story thing, and if you had a different one that was like none of them are really connected to each other, and it was just like little side skits.
Oh, so an anthology.
Sure.
Okay.
Do you know what an anthology
No,
is?
but
Just based off of like the little tales and stuff.
Think
The Clone
like-
Wars is an anthology.
okay, but I don't want the same characters all the time.
Think
Like, they're just you just take like some of the lore around the goblins and just make like a funny
black and
episode about the goblins.
Twilight
Just, like,
Twilight Zone. Think Twilight Zone
yeah,
for an anthology.
yeah. And just take like I'm sure there's plenty of stories around all different like legendary creatures and stuff, and just like some of them are gonna be funny, not all of them have to be funny.
I feel like you can make a TV show
Squee.
right, and that'd be like probably
Yeah,
a really
just an
funny
episode around Squee.
where I think you could do it where like each. This is assuming you have multiple seasons. Assuming like each season is for a block. Like you could do a season about the story in Innistrad. You could do a season about Zendikar. You could do a season about Ixalan. You could do a season about what's the Tenor?
Ravnica.
You could do a Ravnica. Ravnica would have a lot of stuff in it. You could do what's it?
Didn't like a bunch
Cons.
of people die in War of the Spark or something like that?
Oh yeah, like,
Oh yeah, War of the Spark was a big big thing.
Yeah. I know nothing in Magic lore.
Bolus snapped, dude.
Nikki
pretty
B?
much.
Bolus went off.
Yeah, Nikki B snapped.
Alright.
I hope they don't include.
Didn't even
Bolas
need
in
a
the
gauntlet.
Magic the Gathering series.
He'll probably be the main villain. Honestly, if they're going for like a basic one, Bolus is probably gonna.
Either that or Eldrazi.
If they do Eldrazi as the main villain, I think that would be kind of cool.
That'd be cool. I don't think they will.
I don't think they will because it'll be so hard to animate Eldrazi.
All of that, and I think it's just I don't know. Like they can do stuff from any age, but it's kind of like a random. It's like old stuff. I think they'll either stick with like what's happening now, and do a story that, or they'll be like go to the beginning and start the story there. Like I don't think they're just gonna pick like,
And
a
start
random-
with like the meeting of Liliana, Jace.
there or like the very beginning, or but like I don't think they're just gonna be like Eldrazi. Like it's just
Urza?
Yeah,
Start with Urza.
I don't think it'll
work
do
up.
that, but it'll probably be like the or maybe like
or maybe
Magic
they'll-
Origins or something like.
Maybe they'll start with like Ugin and Bolus, and then
Well,
from
that's
that
what I was
springs
thinking.
everything
it was kind
else.
of going to be the Origins thing. That what year did they do that? 18, 19?
Oh yeah,
18.
the other year, Magic Origins.
Yeah, because there was no M18.
Because I mean, that had a very logical plot to it. You had the creatures that were legendary creatures that then flipped into planeswalkers, right?
Oh
Them
yeah,
becoming planeswalkers in the lore.
Yeah, and they had stories around
Kithion
them.
into Gideon, and
Yep. Chandra was still.
I
named
think Chandra and
right?
Liliana were both, and Jace
Yeah.
was also just Jace. Oh, why did they change Gideon's name?
I think that's just what his actual lore story is.
Mm.
Are you talking about Magic Origins, the set?
Yep.
Yes.
2015.
What?
Not 2018.
There was definitely a 15 core set, right?
Yeah, it was M15 course.
They skipped a core set for a year.
Bro, no way that came out in 2015. How
Yeah.
old am I?
July 17th, 2015.
Crazy.
I mean, there is a Magic 2015 set, but then the next core set is 2019. They didn't have
So
any
this has
for...
been for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So
Are you
there's
looking at Magic Duels Origins?
No, just Magic Origins. Magic Origins is the 17th Magic core set.
Let me see the symbol for it. Yeah, that is Origin.
what did just old?
Yeah, I guess we are just old.
Or dumb.
A little
Bit of both.
Okay.
The start of the show definitely needs to be a Black Lotus growing out of the ground.
And then
There's
Ugin picks it and holds it up, and then Bolus lights it on fire.
I feel like the intro thing, like
Ugin. That was worth millions!
That was worth millions
like
of
$10,000, dude. That was from Alpha.
And then Memnarch comes out of the ground and turns them both into artifacts.
Just a big noob show.
If they just did a big like Phyrexia thing, that would be really cool.
that'd also be cool.
I like Fire actually.
Just like a whole like start with like is Nissa in New Phyrexia?
I don't think
No.
so.
So you start with like the like pristine Phyrexia where everything's just like the ground's like made of hex plates and all the grass is chrome and everything's nice. And then you see like is that Mirrodin? Yeah, that's Mirrodin. And then like Phyrexian corruption's like creeping in, and like whoever the Karn? No. Whoever the planeswalker for the set is, I don't remember, has to like fight off the corruption of Phyrexia and
I
like
think Tezzeret wasn't it.
Yeah, I think Tezzeret was in that block probably at least.
yes, I agree.
If there even
Anyway.
was Planeswalker.
So, yeah, the planeswalker just has to fight off the like Phyrexian onslaught coming out of like the whole like the core of the earth or wherever they came from.
Mm-hmm.
They could change it too.
There's some horrific creatures too coming out of New Phyrexia. That'd be kind of scary.
Yeah, that might be like a dark place from the start.
Yeah, it would be pretty
It would
dark.
be a little not kid friendly. I feel like.
Yeah, that would be a good show though. I
Well,
would watch
have
that.
they talked about what kind of rating it's going to be?
No, but I doubt it's gonna be.
I doubt they're
Well,
gonna.
I'm not saying like
I doubt they'll start
I mean,
hard.
imagine fighting Sheoldred right off the bat. Like,
Oh yeah, you just see like Sheoldred and Urabrask and Jin-Gitaxias like coming out of the ground.
Do you think they'll implement like game mechanics into the fights that are?
I
going
really
on?
hope
what, like
not.
tapping?
No.
They're gonna go. They're gonna go full Yu-Gi-Oh,
You
and the
just see 'em
planeswalkers are
mounted.
just gonna
Yes,
have cards,
yes.
and they're just gonna be like, "Ha!"
Please.
I hope not. But like
Just
so, like,
make up rules as you go
Shielded, for
along.
example, is like at the beginning of
Go
your
full
upkeep, you
Yu-Gi-Oh
return
on
a
it.
creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, and they sack you. They sack
I
the
definitely
creature.
think
Like-
you'll see certain things like
You'll
that.
see,
Like you
like-
could see Sheoldred like rising something.
You can
Right,
see
and
like
also-
pulling something out of the ground and like forcing another one in.
Right, that kind of deal. Just like not like legitimately every word on the card. But
Like
just,
Or, like-
obviously certain aspects you wouldn't be able to include, like Vorinclex,
Vorinclex.
him too. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add one to your mana pool. Like,
Well, you
there'd
could just
really be
you
no
could
way.
just show like the things behind him growing and
Yeah.
things in front of him shriveling. And for Sheoldred, I think it would be really funny for the sacrifice if the just creature just ran into her like stomach mouth thing. You know how she's got like her body on top, and then she's got like another little mouth underneath.
I never
So like,
noticed
so like her top body is like rising something out of the floor, and the other one's just like eating their creature.
It's a Sheoldred.
Oh, that's a stomach mouth, all right.
It is.
Yeah, so that. Yeah, I agree. New Phyrexia would not be the place to start.
Not to start,
Little,
but I think it could be cool.
it could be very cool.
What
Obviously,
about
this is coming from huge Magic fans.
Yeah, obviously.
so what I'd like to see?
Yeah, go for it.
No, I have no
Oh,
idea.
you have no idea?
No clue.
Okay.
So, based off your little knowledge, like, what would you like to see?
Tarkir, because dragons are cool.
Well, that would be
Dragons
fun.
are cool.
That would be a pretty decent
It would-
place to
it would
start.
be pretty
too.
fun.
It'd be logical
Honestly,
for.
no, yeah, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
like you're surprised, but that would be a
You
good
can
start.
have basic planeswalker functions like can't think of his name.
Sarkhan.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Sarkhan turning into a dragon.
Yeah. Who do you have in cons? You got Sarkhan. You got
Sarkhan.
Ugin comes back
Yeah. Yeah. And Dragons of Turkey.
in Dragons. Yeah.
Um,
So I guess it would just be like following Sarkhan, and then like, well, what happens? Is it Days Undoing that happens? Something happens
that's
to like,
in Origins.
yeah, something happens to reverse time and bring the dragons back. So you just have like, you like have Dragon Lord Ojitai and Slim and Kolagon just like coming out of the ground.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is with
all
the
the
Owen
dragons.
coming out of the
I don't
ground?
know. They come out of caves because they're
Stop
dead
coming
or
out of the
something.
ground.
Like their
Sure.
skeletons rise up out of like a bog and skin grows back on them or some
It's
shit
a
like that.
skeleton that like comes back from your battlefield for 1 mana.
Reassemblies.
Yeah,
that's
they
too
definitely need to include that card. And
yeah,
it just like
Just,
reappears at
Every
random points.
battle. It just
Yeah, every episode.
So
Just
it
comes
gets to
back.
the
Get
point
killed
where you get
immediately,
pissed
like-
about it coming back, so it's actually like you're playing against it in game. Like, you're like, seriously, this thing is back.
until it'll get like exiled at some point.
you have Liliana and she's
Finally.
just one of the planeswalkers is just doing something stupid where you reanimate the resembling skeleton, sacrifice it for an effect, and just keep doing it.
I just want to see it show up in every battle and just get like absolutely wrecked immediately. It's like
'Cause it's a
not
1/1.
even as like part of the main fight. It just gets like run over or something, and then you just see it later on come back again in a different fight. Like
They could do the same exact thing the next season with Squee.
yeah,
Showing up and then just running away.
And Fibble flip.
that would actually be
Fibble
really good.
flip.
It was like just very obscure, like, side background kind of thing. You just see him get, like, stepped on by something or whatever. Like, it's like
He doesn't even have his
in the
own
middle of the
specific
fight.
scene. Yeah, it's like in the background
Yeah.
of every fight, you just see like a reassembling skeleton.
just
or
get
a
crushed.
He gets killed, but he just keeps coming back. You see, or if
Stepped
they're
on by something more
traveling
important.
somewhere, you see him like trip and fall off a cliff or something. Like,
That could be very funny.
I feel like my struggle with Magic is like I love playing the game, but like
You don't
I've
pay
tried to
attention
read some of
lore?
the books a little bit and stuff, and it's just like it's just not my kind of. It's not my forte in Magic for lore.
There's a variety though.
Yeah, there's
I've
a
read
lot,
one
but
book and I
just-
enjoyed it.
Like the Eldrazi story is like a cataclysmic apocalypse story. The Innistrad story is like just full on just like horror. And then, they meet and it's cataclysmic horror.
I just don't like. I don't know how to explain it. Like the creatures and.
Yeah,
Sure,
and then
but-
Cons is like a revival story.
Sure, but books compared to a TV show, which you can, it's a simple
Yeah,
like
right,
put
right.
on and watch.
So it's just probably like WoW. Bro,
Right,
watch it.
exactly.
And I think it would be more popular talked about probably than any of the books would have been.
Yeah.
I was in the store the other day and I saw there was like a new Magic like novel book kind of that was like current.
What's it
stuff.
called?
I think it literally just said Magic the Gathering on it. But
Okay.
like,
Is it like a War of the Spark book or something like that?
I'm not sure. I didn't look too much at it.
Corsets don't have like stories, do they?
Sometimes.
I mean, Origins.
So like the Oranges
Okay.
did.
Yeah, but
Right.
not like for 20 or anything like that.
Like
Typically.
like most of the M number sets, like just kind of had stuff in them.
Okay.
They always had lore, like they came out with like new legends.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
And they had
Just,
like
they
the
gave background too.
And they had like the basic 5 planeswalkers, one for each color,
Right.
pretty much every time.
Yeah, it's really just supposed to be like an introductory. They can make the deck builders toolkit for it, and they reprint tons of stuff.
Just reprint
Right,
like
right.
semi-good cards.
Right, sure.
When you read the cards, they have like what the abilities do spelled out on the cards.
Yeah, so you actually get to understand what the abilities
gotcha.
are without
Right.
just getting thrown in there.
Usually, like I'm sure there are things in there that have stories, but usually it's not.
It's not the focus.
Right, it's not usually included in the. It's like so there'll usually be like a block with a story arc, and then in between and the next story arc, they just throw a core set.
Right, sure.
Like the original Innistrad story arc is the return of Grizzlebrand and the fall of the Angels, and then in between that you have Corset,
Gotcha. Okay.
and then you go into Ravnica, and then Corset.
Ravnica could be a cool block. It's just the hunt for Maze's End.
Do a dragon. Yeah, do a Dragon's Maze Ravnica, not Old Ravnica, because
Right.
I don't think there was a story for Old Ravnica. It was just world building.
I don't know.
Not sure. honestly.
I feel like the Magic lore is so hard to follow. Like there was like very consistent books for a while, and then they just stopped, and I don't know like what is the lore for that, and then they like picked it back up, kinda like and then they started
The
doing
lore you just have to figure out from flavor text, pretty much.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like there definitely is lore.
The
but
lore
I
is
just-
only from Flavor.
It pretty much, honestly. It's not like they tell you anything else.
Here's what you should do for the next story, or for the next set that starts a block. All you do is just read the flavor text and
text.
try and figure out what the story
We
is.
should have one person like read the book on that set.
Okay.
And one person only read the flavor text for it, and then see how accurately
Okay,
you can depict
okay.
the story.
Sure.
We should do that. Let's just pick a story or pick a set.
I think I'm thinking like Avacyn
Come back in the next one.
Avacyn Restored,
Read on next one.
Dark Ascension.
Well, the problem with that is you know the past set stories already.
I do.
don't, but
I wouldn't say I know all of them.
Yeah, sure.
The more recent ones, yeah.
Like
we could definitely pick an old set. That
I'm trying to think
don't
if
know
there's.
anything about, and that's where the books are. So like,
Okay.
I'm trying to think if like Innistrad, Avacyn Restored, and Dark Ascension. Innistrad was the first one. I don't think there was like any lore teasers really in Innistrad. It was mostly in the other two, because Innistrad was just like setting the scene, and then the other two had Grizzlebrand coming back, and then Avacyn. Honestly, I don't know if she reinstates it first or if she makes peace and then Grizzlebrand explodes out of the Hell Vault and kills everything.
I don't know.
All I know is Liliana's chain veil is like a gift from Grizzlebrand, I think. That's the demon she made a deal with. That's why he's so stupid powerful.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
idea.
That's why her skin's got all the purple lines on it as well, because it's burned into her from the chain veil.
You know, now that you're saying that, one of our friends still has my Grizzlebrand that I lent to him as a joke. You're gonna have to get that back.
You won't.
I was gonna say I don't think that was me, but
No,
it very well could have been.
yeah, it's the other one.
The other one.
He will not be named.
On the note of TV shows, we got Stranger Things came out recently. Stranger Things season 3 came out recently. Have you watched that yet?
I've watched all of Stranger Things season 3.
All right.
I haven't seen any of it, so I don't care if you spoil
What
it.
did you think about it?
I really liked it. I thought it was better than season 2. I liked season 2, but I think season 2, as you know, a lot of sequels had that sophomore slump, and I think season 3 really came back. The best thing about season 3 for me was that there were one new character and 2 returning characters that were side characters before, who became prominent characters in season 3 that ended up being 3 of my favorite characters.
That's true.
The plot of the show sort of split all the characters up into 3 groups, and the group that contained all main characters I disliked the most. Like, I thought it was boring.
I could see that. Me being the person who doesn't dislike movies or TV shows ever, I didn't like it that much.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's
and why?
You didn't
So-
like season 3?
I didn't.
Do they-
I
do they-
didn't dislike it.
Do
but
they
I just-
play D&D?
They do. They do.
Ooh.
No, they don't.
Oh,
Okay, they do briefly.
Yeah, I guess you could argue that they don't because
Will really wants to play D&D, but everyone else is growing up,
Oh,
and they
bullshit.
and they
Fuck
have
off.
they right quote unquote grown up, and they have girlfriends, so they'd rather hang out with their girlfriends than play D&D.
yes.
While Will is dressed up as a wizard, Will the wizard, having the best time of his life DMing, and then he gets all pissed that no one's actually putting in any effort.
They're trying
into
to
the
slay girls,
campaign.
he's trying to slay dragons.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What's more important? Dragons.
Dragon.
Obviously, the dragons, they can eat you. The girls will still be there.
You can get all the girls you want when you're rich and famous from slaying
Kill
dragons.
dragons, obviously.
Yeah, you get their horde, you take their money, and then you're rich.
It's that easy.
My issue was I just thought
Cam, have you seen any of Stranger Things?
Just the
before
first
we start?
season.
Okay.
I saw the first season around when the second season was coming out, and I'm like, I don't really need to see more of that.
So is this staying spoiler free?
No, go ahead. I'm never gonna see
I
it.
For our
haven't
viewers out there,
It's yeah. So
Spoilers.
Spoiler
Spoiler
alert.
Yeah.
It's been
it's been out for a little bit
Yeah.
now because it came out July 4th, but it is still July, so just in
Happy
case.
America Day.
So yeah.
Can't spell America without Erica.
Good old Erica.
Okay.
Great quote from season 3.
Depends. My friend Erica spells with a K, so
Well,
She's not part of America.
it's not American. But so the issue I was having with it is I really just kind of thought the plot with the Russians and everything was kind of a stretch and somewhat random. Like I understand that's the time period, like Cold War, but I feel like they were like, well, we need another way to bring back the monster. How about the Russians? Like, and it was just like they weren't that cool of a group. They just like
Those Russians, they aren't cool
see,
at all.
my favorite character the entire season was a Russian.
All right, he was funny. I know what you're talking about, but
They introduced a new character, Alexei,
yeah.
who was a Russian scientist who was captured by Hopper and shit, what's her name? Will's mom,
Yeah.
Joyce.
Jesus, Cam knew that.
Wow.
So
wrecked.
I'm really good with character names.
I'm awful.
So they captured Alexei, and then Alexei ended up becoming a lovable character
Yeah.
once he sort of like didn't want to go back to the Russians because you know they were evil. The saddest moment.
Good
was,
old American philosophy.
Rip,
Rip Alexei.
Rip Alexei.
Oh, he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexei was
They
shot
did him.
by
Jesus.
another Russian
Oh, okay.
for being a traitor.
Was there any point to that death, or they just killed him to kill him?
No, they're trying to prevent him from sharing information. I think.
Right. So they
Was there
eventually.
story
So
weak
there
to
was a okay. Here's where I disagree with you a little bit. Do you remember that whole little side quest that Nancy and Will's older brother, help me out?
That one,
Steve?
no,
I don't know.
No.
I know that name.
No, it's
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yes.
It's Mr. Steele Steve's girl. The whole little side quest that Jonathan and Nancy went on in season 2 with the reporter, right? Who
Yeah.
was going crazy about like Russian spies and stuff like that. You remember that?
Wait, are you talking about like the old lady's house?
No, that's season 3. Season 2.
Oh, season 2.
Let me find this guy's name. The guy that speaks Russian.
Yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So, do you remember him in season 2?
I remember having seen him before, but I don't really remember.
So he was in season 2 because he kept on calling Hopper and what's his name? No. He kept on calling Hopper saying that like Russian spies or something were like invading Hawkins and stuff like that, and they all just ignored him and told him he was crazy and stuff like
Alright.
that.
I like
So
that.
he ended up being right, and then Hopper went back to him with the Russian,
And then he's
he was
dead.
No.
You know, he's not dead. He's a great character.
He's a pivotal
too.
character.
Oh, okay.
He's a very pivotal character come the end. So that was my second favorite group of characters in the show.
Yeah,
Watching them run around with dick around with the Russians was
Very
funny.
good. Yeah.
But like the best combination. I'm sorry, 2 new characters because Erica's a returning character,
Yeah.
and then you have Robin, the ice cream girl.
Oh yeah.
And one of the main plots of the show was Dustin, Steve, Robin, and Erica infiltrating the secret Russian base underneath the mall.
What? Okay. Time out.
That's a stat.
So the children infiltrate a secret Russian base?
Yep.
Yes.
Also,
Okay.
Somewhat accidentally.
so
very, very accidental.
Okay.
They're trying to get into a storage room
Uh-huh.
where they know the Russians are hiding something, and the storage room is an elevator that they.
Right,
Oh,
the storage room
okay.
ends up being a secret elevator
Sure.
down to the Russian base.
Okay.
that's like an established thing. Like it has to be there, and then they built a mall on top of it.
Yeah. the
So,
whole
okay,
thing-
so they talk about that, right?
Like they
The-
can't just like go into a mall and like start digging.
No,
that
yes,
makes
no,
noise.
I understand. It's a,
there's a
what's the word?
Strip mall?
No,
there's a-
corrupted mayor
Oh, okay.
Okay.
who was advertising the mall just got built.
Okay.
Brand new
Okay.
mall.
So he was
The
he
town
was
of
advocating for the mall to
Yes,
get
he
built.
was
there.
advocating for the mall to be built there because he was secretly getting paid by the Russians.
Gotcha.
So that way they
Yeah.
could build
makes
this
more
secret
sense.
base there, and then they covered it up with the mall.
And he didn't. I don't think he knew it was the Russians, right? Because it was just supposed to be like some big company that was pressuring him or something.
The mayor? No, he knew it was the Russians.
I thought it,
The whole...
he said it was just like a company. He like didn't know.
I think he was lying to Hopper, and then Hopper
Maybe.
like ththreatened to chop off his finger
No.
in
that's
the cigar
aggressive.
cutter,
Yeah.
and that he...
Yes. Okay.
Anywho,
I still don't think he knew the extent of. Oh, no, because then when the mayor's at the fair, he calls the Russians. to
yeah,
come-
he literally has
Yeah.
their number on like fucking speed dial, like.
Yeah.
Okay, away from the Russians, the real villain of the show, the Mind Flayer, returns from season 2. What'd you think of that?
I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
From what I understand, the Mind Flayer is not the Mind Flayer.
No,
from,
it's
like,
not
Dungeons
D&D
and
accurate.
Dragons. Okay.
I mean, it controls people's minds,
Sure.
but
it's not like a
doesn't-
humanoid
It's not
squid
a humanoid
man.
tentacle monster.
So
Okay.
I've seen one scene from season 3,
Okay.
and it's like tentacles. Is like I think it's the Demogorgon, right? Is the Demogorgon in there,
That's
or
the
is that the
first
Mind
season.
Flayer?
Demogorgon is season 1.
So it's like a big like open mouth thing, and he's got tentacles, and he's trying to pull one of them up through the ceiling and eat him or something like that. That's the Mind Flayer?
Yep, that's the Mind Flayer.
Okay, so what was the Demogorgon?
So I'll bring up a picture. Of the
Demogorgon
The
is like
Demogorgon does make an appearance in season 3, however. There is a post-credit scene
Oh boy.
that goes back to Russia,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, remember in
Well,
season
A
1...
demon dog.
No, it was a Demogorgon.
Oh, Doug Demodog?
To be like, from what I recall from the finale of season 1, like 11 like yells at the Demogorgon and it disappears or something like that.
It explodes.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm assuming there's more than one Demogorgon
Sure.
in
I mean,
In the
on the
Upside
Upside
Down.
Down. Well, obviously, if there's another one here
in that
Russia.
show, yes.
Right, so I don't know how the Russian. It was a post-credit scene. It was very, very quick, but basically it revealed two things. The Russians, they reference an American that they have in a prison, so that could be one of two characters. In my prediction, that could be either Hopper,
Right.
believed to be dead at the end of season 3.
Why?
Spoiler alert.
Why does Hellboy die?
I mean, we're in spoilers.
The two final fight scenes between Hopper and this evil Russian that was chasing them around the whole time. So basically, at the same time they're trying to the Russians are there because they reopened the portal,
Oh, okay.
right? And they need to do it in Hawkins because Hawkins, like, that's where the original rip or whatever into the Upside Down was.
Sure.
So they tried to do it in Russia, then they went to Hawkins because that's where the rip was.
Okay.
That's how the Mind Flayer gets back.
And they want to do
because they
that
open it up.
because...
Yeah.
Because they're Russian.
Sure,
Part of my
okay.
issue with it. I
Gotcha.
was like, that's just a convenient way to reopen the
Okay.
portal, but yeah.
Sure.
They might have explained it, but yeah, not to the point where I really remember. Ignoring that, Russians open up the portal, Mind Flayer comes back in. So come the final episode, the final two fight scenes are between some of the kids and Hopper fighting the Russians to destroy the portal, and then the rest of the main characters fighting the new and improved Mind Flayer creature in season 3 up in the mall.
Okay.
Where was I going with that? Hopper defeats the main Russian bad guy in a hand-to-hand fight.
That's logical. Is Hopper, like, trained?
He's like a cop.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
He's a sheriff.
But then, like,
he's pretty badass.
at the like end
I'd
of
say.
season 2, he goes in like a car or something to. It's like a government thing, I
Okay.
assume.
All right.
I don't know.
I assumed Hopper
No,
was a
he's not-
kid
he's not
because
with the US government.
No.
Because that, like, the government was like almost like the antagonist of season 2,
Okay.
and he was like
I don't know.
trying to.
At the end of season 1, he gets in like a black car with some agent-looking dudes.
Yeah, they probably talked to him or something. But
All right. Anyway, continue.
Oh yeah, he probably has connections to them now. He didn't in season 2 probably until that point because he's the
Well,
one
it was
who.
end
that
of
was the season
1.
one because Cam hasn't seen season 2.
Oh, they were saying the end of season 2.
He,
No, at
he
the
did
end of
say
season 1.
2 at first, but then
Oh,
he
did I?
corrected himself. You corrected yourself.
Alright, well, I know he does have the ability. He calls the government to help them in season 3, and they just don't fucking get there in time,
Okay.
which makes no sense. But,
They get there in time to see the dead Demi.
You're right,
The Mind
which-
Flayer.
this is stupid. But in season 2, the government is like everything. Right? Or is that season 1 when they're against the government?
Well, in 1,
No, season
they're-
2 is the one where they're against the government. Season 1 is whatever the doctor's name is.
Yeah.
Papa. Titled by 11.
Right.
The secret. I don't know if it might be government, but it's not like really U.S. government. It's probably like a secret government subsection or whatever that's doing these testings. Whatever. Season 2 is, I think, more formally U.S. government. Right? They bring in a new guy to work on the projects who actually like works for the U.S. government. Season 3, Russians.
Okay. Season 4, Nazis.
Yes.
Season
I'm
5
I'm
aliens.
assuming Russians will return for season 4. I mean, the post-credit scene includes
Okay.
Russians.
But you were talking about prisoner stuff, and then you said Hopper.
Yeah, you
and
said
then
there
So
was two
Hopper
options for the
died
president.
after he defeated
Okay.
the Russian.
But he's
Joyce,
still alive?
Joyce needed to shut down the. Well, it
don't
didn't
know.
show his
Oh,
death.
okay.
This is Nick's
Okay.
theory.
Right.
Gotcha.
This is my theory. So he's believed to be dead
Gotcha.
after Joyce destroys the machine with Hopper still in the room. And as we saw in the opening scene of the show, when the machine doesn't work properly and it explodes, it electrocutes and kills everyone in the area.
Okay.
Right, so that's why Hopper's believed to be dead. But they reference an American in a prison cell, so I believe it's either Hopper or it is this. And I can't remember the doctor's name.
Oh, from season 1.
Yep,
Did he die, though?
again believed to be dead.
Okay.
That's my other theory. It's him, Papa.
I bet you it's just the crazy guy who was calling in the Russian. Saying that the Russians were coming in.
But didn't you say he was Russian?
No,
No.
he can speak Russian.
Oh, he can. Oh, okay.
No, he just speaks Russian. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dr. Brenner is the name of the season 1 villain. If you're not including the human villain and the upside down.
There's always that stuff with those type of shows. Very good.
So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was a fun adventure type show because you had these 3 distinct groups of people running around doing different quests and whatnot.
Yeah, it was entertaining for sure. There's one huge flaw in the fact that there just really was not enough Ted. Ted Wheeler just did not make enough appearances in this movie or in the show.
So Ted Wheeler showed up for 2 scenes.
Yep, the 2 best scenes in the show.
He showed up
automatically.
in, was it episode 1?
When Billy, a character you wouldn't know, introduced in season 2,
Okay.
high schooler, attempts to seduce Mrs. Wheeler.
Okay.
Does so successfully.
Succeeds.
Okay.
So
So basically, somewhat, she decides eventually not to sleep with Billy. But basically, the scene is Mrs. Wheeler leaving the house to go sleep with Billy, and her looking back at her family, and it's Ted on the couch passed out. So there's that, and then the one other scene that he's in later, the last
scene,
was the second to last episode or last episode?
it might have been second.
I think it might have been
it
second
was
to
the
last.
end of the
Is
second
he's
to
on a
last
Ferris
episode.
wheel with his kid and with Mrs. Wheeler,
Very nice.
not Mike or Nancy with their
Oh, the
daughter.
younger.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Why are the trees moving? Because the
Mind
mind
Flayer.
flayer's coming." And
Yeah.
they're like, "They're not."
Well, they weren't looking at the trees.
Right.
It's not like they were
Okay.
looking at the
Gotcha,
movie
gotcha,
trees and
gotcha.
said they're not. It was the 4th of July, so they were up on the Ferris wheel watching
The fireworks.
The
Gotcha.
mom was like, "Who cares about the trees? Look at the fireworks."
All right.
So I mean, I'm at least excited for season 4.
They got season 4
Yeah. Have
scheduled.
they announced that?
They have, yeah.
So actually, the reason I brought this up was not even to discuss the show.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
Well,
so-
that was probably a bad idea then.
No, I'm happy to discuss
Okay.
the show, but so I sent to one of the group chats a while and a while
Sent a
ago.
strongly worded letter to the producers of
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
More
Saying,
Ted
"More
Wheeler.
Ted Wheeler."
No, I sent a picture of the intro like Dungeons and Dragons Stranger Things theme thing. I sent it a while ago to the nerds group chat.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so what was
And-
that? A Dungeons and Dragons based,
It was supposed
or
to,
I'm sorry, a Stranger Things based Dungeons and Dragons campaign?
yeah, but it was supposed to be like very, I think probably like just an encounter kind of deal. Like it's supposed to be like introductory into Dungeons and Dragons, and so I think it's for people who watch Stranger Things.
And don't
And this is
exactly
like
know.
learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons through the Strangers and Things Dungeons and Dragons.
Murray, I just want to say, is the name of the reporter who also speaks Russian.
Okay. So I want to know. Stranger Things is supposed to be, at least loosely based off of Dungeons and Dragons, but
Very, very
very
loosely.
loosely. But a lot
I
of
wouldn't say loosely based. I'd say they try to explain things using Dungeons and Dragons references.
Because they're kids and they
Right.
know how to play D&D, and they're like, "Oh God, things are happening. This is like."
And
D&D."
they've given into Satan's guys, and they worship him.
Yeah,
well, anyways,
yeah, that.
I have heard that that's what was used to be believed.
Yes.
of, Dungeons and Dragons.
so I've seen a lot of Dungeons and Dragons merchandise that's Stranger Things themed popping up, and I want to know if you think that Stranger Things referencing Dungeons and Dragons is going to help it, or if it's just going to be like,
Help it.
It'll help it grow.
It will help it, but will it be like a big boom, or is it just going to be like?
I mean,
there's just not
we've
enough
already
of
hit
it?
the big boom of Dungeons and Dragons, where 5th edition. So there's a couple things. 5th edition, which is the newest edition that came out.
That we play.
Yes. I can't remember the exact date. 2013, 14, something like that, maybe earlier. Where it's a lot simpler than the old stuff, and that's certainly helped it. 2, stuff like Stranger Things has really pushed the idea that this thing is, not cool necessarily, but it's pushed it more into the yes. I mean,
No,
I
we
would
don't
say
want to be cool.
but It's definitely
Cool to
helped
be a
that.
nerd.
It's something that you can do without too much effort and that you'll actually enjoy,
Right.
as opposed to a thing that weird people do.
Exactly. And then 3, legitimately, things like Critical Role, things like The Adventure Zone, and other podcasts and shows that show off, that are like grand examples of how like these people play D&D. Obviously,
Big
people
Bang
need
Theory made a lot of references to
Sure,
Dungeons
sure.
and Dragons.
But these things that show off these games that have these amazing moments that you have to realize that's not what your game is going to be like. But it certainly, you'll have those moments, of course, but
It just won't be as grand.
Right, it won't be as grand. And that's 100% helped this resurgence of D&D. That is, and obviously the Satanist stuff is no longer an issue.
Yeah, because everyone worships Satan now.
Quiet. We need to
Keep it
we need
hush
to put
hush.
that on
No,
there.
yeah. Okay.
But yeah, 100%. I think those 3 are the main factors into pushing D&D into more common knowledge at this point. Because back in the 80s and 90s, wasn't really a big thing. Like when it started, it was, but nowadays I would say it's a decently sized product.
Community.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll just stick with 5th edition for a really long time?
Yeah,
Just-
I think so.
How long was 4E out?
4E was not out very long because it was not great,
Okay.
to be honest.
I know people still play Pathfinder, which is
3,
3E,
well,
right? But modified.
3.5.
Okay.
Pathfinder is a different game that is not associated with Wizards. They essentially took the 3.5 rules and modified it.
Yes.
I think they've released a Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Okay.
So it's super, super different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think 5th edition could see a much longer lifespan. They could very well do a 5.5 where they
Just
add in
update
all
some
the
rules
stuff.
and
Yep.
make things cleaner.
Yep.
They could add that class that they've been working on.
Yep, the
for a while.
Artificer.
Yep.
And the new Ranger. Well, they released a new Ranger in
So I
Santa
didn't
Clara
know
Skytech.
about the Ranger. I was referencing the...
Yeah, I know. Talking about the Artificer, but the new Ranger.
Patching Ranger.
Yeah, the actual, good Ranger. Because the 5th edition one isn't. Well, the base one's fine, but the Beast companion is pretty garbage.
Okay.
But I could easily see this going for 5 more years, if not more. Which is, that's a pretty decent.
Yeah, it came out
lifespan.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I
so
think
a 10-year lifespan.
I'm trying to. I can't remember.
Maybe more.
So in Stranger Things, Dungeons and Dragons is displayed as a kids game, right? It's played by the younger middle school age, high school kids. However, I didn't start playing Dungeons and Dragons until I hit college age, and I haven't seen anyone. I don't know of anyone below the age of college level who plays Dungeons and Dragons. So
I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was in middle school.
Okay, so what is the demographic really that's being targeted by this game? Is it older people or is it kids?
I'm assuming the Stranger Things
think it's
one is
both.
targeting kids, but also enticing older people because,
I'm not saying Stranger Things specifically, what are they trying to entice? I'm saying Dungeons and Dragons, who is their main demographic?
Oh, 15 and up, I'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely. 5th edition came out in 2014. 4th edition came out in 2008. So
Oh, yeah,
it was
that's
only
pretty
6
short.
years. Yeah.
I feel like a new edition is very disrupting almost.
Well,
You're in the middle of a campaign.
you can just
Well,
keep
you don't
playing
have
with
you
the
don't
idea.
have to take the
Continue.
new rules.
It's not
out.
like a game patch where you have to patch it to
Right.
play. You can just keep playing with
Right,
the
but
rules.
you kind of want to see the cool new stuff, but at the same time, it's I don't want to just stop my campaign and to do that.
Well, you can work in rules. You can work in the rules you like and just.
Oh
leave
yeah,
out the ones you don't.
there's some 3.5. I usually take old monster stats because the 5th edition monsters aren't as exciting, so I usually go to old editions and grab those.
Is that why we always get fucked?
No,
Is this because he doesn't?
Note
want
to the
this?
viewers: we get fucked a lot.
no. Listen, only one character has died twice, and
That makes it
that's
sound
his
like
fa-
everyone's died.
well,
Like,
he's the only
person's
one
died
that's
twice.
died, and he's died twice.
Hey,
Mostly
I've
because-
died. My character is dead.
Okay.
that's
Yes,
true.
that
He
is
did
true.
not get revived.
Well, that was when you were super low level.
Yeah.
But
it's also
that's only-
3 failed checks in a row.
yeah.
That's rough.
That's because the character that has been killed twice has an 11 AC,
and he refuses to get better.
Who are we talking about?
Crashes
Crashes
Durbin.
I think he has 11
He has 11 AC
because he doesn't wear leather
No,
armor.
he has studded leather, but his
dex is
dex
negative.
is -1. So his armor is.
Yeah, and he hasn't taken a feat to upgrade to better armor
Yeah.
that doesn't use his dex. So.
Oh my god, Chris.
I mean, he is a bard, so
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm a bard. I have 14 AC.
yeah, but your dex is
It's
plus
'cause you
2,
have dex.
right?
Yep.
And you have studded leather, which is 12. So yeah, that would be why. Plus, I think his hit points aren't great either. So, plus he usually antagonizes people.
Why is Crassus in the game? He's just a worse version of my character, honestly. Like,
Hey, you guys made the band.
Yeah, you made the band, and
we my character in D&D is a bard, along with another player who is also bard, and our backstories co-align such that we are a traveling band.
The other character being Crashes Durbin.
Right.
The much shittier pan fluter in our band called
Yeah,
the Panhandlers.
panhandlers. Yeah,
Yeah.
Genius.
It's great.
Mayhaps we will talk about our D&D escapades another time. Mayhaps not.
Yeah, we have tons of stories about just
Things
stupid
happening.
garbage that'll happen.
Huh. Yeah, garbage
Tons
from
of
Garbo
fantastic
Man.
Oh,
stories.
Jesus Christ.
We
Hilarious.
don't need the world to know about Garbo, man.
I tell my coworkers all the time what happens at our campaigns.
Yeah.
They find it fucking hilarious.
See, and that's the starting drug of D&D. Like, you hear about it, and then you're like, I guess I'll try it, and then you're sucked in, and you can't get out ever. You're in forever. Which is
Forever and
ever and ever. Yeah.
And then if you leave, you get withdrawals.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, you guys want to play again? Or?
We have a friend who's exactly like that. He keeps texting me saying, "Yo, we really need to pick a night to play because I'm just dying to play."
Oh yeah, he's only played once too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you get addicted that fast.
Well, that's what happened with us. I'm like, we got to do weekly because I can't fucking take this shit of every 2 months or whatever.
Yeah.
It was killing us too. I mean,
I
your
personally, I would like to do more than once weekly,
but schedules.
but scheduling is
schedules
hard.
really don't align like that. Yeah. I mean, I would love to play more. Yeah. It's just tough.
I think everyone would.
It's the one game where it's like,
Do whatever.
especially in our group, like. No, I mean yes, but that's not where I was going
Okay.
with that. I'm
Okay.
saying like
Okay.
it's the one game where it's like you all need to be there,
Right.
in the same location,
Right.
and you can't just like miss. You can
With a lot of
like
people.
not have one person.
Yeah,
but it's really
our
shitty.
group, because we're idiots, is 7 players.
Yes, it is
So-
absolutely awful to schedule 7 people.
Well, we've done a great job. I mean, we
we got
consistent.
we got
every
1 day a
Sunday
week.
Night.
Yeah.
We play, and we have not had a night yet, right? Or we've canceled.
No
We had
cancels.
one night where
We've
we
had
left
to
early.
we've had to leave early, and we've had to push time a bit, but we've hit Sunday night, I think, ever since we started
Start of
it.
summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been pretty good, and I
We have
appreciate you that as players. But it's certainly with 7 people at times, it's a little unfortunate because there'll be like RP moments where these 2 people are talking at the side of the table, and then the other people are having a side conversation or looking on their phones, which is, I mean, I get it, but
I think what you don't hear a lot of the time is
Uh-huh.
that although it may not sound like we're in character, a lot of our conversations
Oh,
actually
really?
They're really
We
ridiculous.
do have a lot of
but we
stupid
do
side
have
characters.
a lot of
Okay.
stupid like side character conversations.
yeah,
Like some of
we
the
really
stuff
do.
that like I talk to Crassus about really is in game.
Okay.
And it's like you
Okay.
wouldn't know it, but
and like
we do get distracted.
Right.
Obviously, I do pull out my phone.
yeah, which I can get. And combat has been, I mean, it's been a slog. But I think this last session, you guys were really on it. Like, with the, it's your
7
turn.
people
and you start
combat
it.
is very
it's
difficult.
rough. It's tough. But I say this last session was easily the short. I mean, it wasn't a great amount of enemies coming at you or anything like that. But I think you handled
But
it
it was smooth.
very well.
Yeah. Had a nice bit of combat between me and Nick.
Well, yeah, that'll happen.
For once
Some
in a while.
inter-party combat.
Yeah.
But that's fine. No one was killed.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I suppose we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, with dark forces looming over both of you, you know.
Yeah.
The dark forces looming over me.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what that's
Alright.
Oh, are you talking about the
Uh-huh.
the dream
Yeah.
my character
Uh-huh.
had?
Yeah,
that was,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
that was rough.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it was just a dream.
Yeah, sure.
No,
it was only.
Yeah,
a dream.
I tried to explain how scary of a dream it was, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, it's obviously not important."
You didn't roll well on your performance check with us.
No one made me roll performance.
Exactly. Your personal
And I also
performance
don't
check
need
did
to
not
roll
roll
a
well.
performance
No.
check when it's
You just gotta act convincing.
inter-party, right?
I like how we all know that it definitely was important too.
But because the DM
it's a dream.
specifically
Like-
takes me to another room,
Dude, I love doing that. I've been doing
Takes
that
my
way more.
character sheet
I
and-
fucking love it.
Every time it's like, take your dice. Like,
no, he's gonna die.
What's happening? I've only done that with you two. I'm pointing to Joe and Nick at this moment, but I want to start doing it with everyone else.
You've
And
done
I'm-
that with me twice now.
Yeah,
I've got a deep backstory going on.
The problem
It's
is
very involved
Right.
that the other characters can't know.
the
about.
problem is trying to figure out how to giving actual reasons to pluck you out and go speak with you in the other room. You know?
That's why I was kind of surprised you chose me for the. You chose Bagul for the dream.
Well,
Nick's character name is Bagul Bagulian, by the way.
It's very upper
yeah.
class.
because it's a joke name too. Because you thought Joe's name was something.
Yeah.
original?
My name
So-
in a different campaign that we played a long time ago. I was an orc called Zagul.
That was it.
ZAH apostrophe GHUL. I liked the name. I thought it was good, but Nick always said my name was Bagul.
So that just became. We just started calling him Bagul because we're like, no.
So
your
my
name's
name was Bagul now.
So in this campaign, I chose my actual name to be Bagul. Now, if you look at my spell sheet,
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you noticed the spell casting? What is it? Class?
Yeah.
Right. I wrote Bard, but then I added an OOL.
Yeah.
So my
Bardul.
is what it says. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Bagul the Bard.
Fucking flying into the air 100 feet up.
Oh yeah, we have a ring. That
We have multiple rings.
Yeah, this one specific ring yeets you 100 feet in the air, and Bagul likes to try and kill himself with it. He's almost succeeded twice.
I like to try and not kill myself with it, and I succeeded in that once. So let's talk about
Depending
that.
on your perspective.
33% chance, success. Not
Alright.
not too bad.
Now that I've chose to use my feature luck a little bit more,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I will have no fear of killing myself.
I don't know about no fear, but less fear maybe.
Yeah, it's going to really suck when you've used all 3 luck and then have to use it for
Well, maybe
some
I won't
reason.
do it when I haven't used luck.
I
Or
mean,
when I've already used it.
you seem pretty adamant. And...
There's no way I can roll another nat one.
Yeah, no way,
There's
right?
no way at all.
It's only like a 1 in 20 chance.
Right.
Ridiculous.
5%.
Yeah. Not like a 2 or a 3 would, hurt you.
Not at all.
No.
Or like anything below 5 maybe.
Getting closer.
So that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you for listening. And as always, if you have anything that you'd like us to talk about, any suggestions for how we can improve our podcast, or any mean and rude comments that you just want to give us for the sake of it, make sure to let us know down below. I'm Michael,
I've been Cam.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Joe.
and we're going AFK. We'll see you in the next one.